You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.fm network. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns and Freedom. Breaking news. You know, something's happening in Oregon. We know that. Mainstream media somehow reported something. We have the Bundys, the Bundys, the brothers, all the way from Nevada, went there to try to help the Hammonds, the family, the two family members, father and son, that are going to jail right now, federal prison, not even jail. I already talked about this on the show several times. I had several guests. Now, something is coming to a new level of intensity. I'm not there. This time I'm not there. I'm here on the station. But I have a person that I respect a lot, and also I met during the Bundys last year. We were together standing in the line. He's a man from Michigan. His name is Ken Rhoades. And he drove all the way to Oregon to see what's going on right now. And I would like to hear from Ken. I trust Ken. Ken is a friend. He's also a person who I respect and always says the truth. So I don't want to just say anything, but I would like to start to let Ken Rhoades talk about it. Ken, are you there?
I'm here, Luca, and thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Give me the chance. The first thing I want to clear up, Luca, is that they said the Hammonds didn't want us here. The Hammonds didn't. The Hammonds were scared to death. They were put under tyranny for the last 30 years by the BLM. And they were told, if you keep talking to Ammon Bundy, we will come pick you up early because they're supposed to turn this stuff in, which they did this morning in, I believe it was San Diego.
Wow.
They said, if you keep talking to Ammon Bundy, we'll come get you early and put you in a less desirable prison.
Wow.
Now, you got to understand this man is 74 years old, and he didn't want to be in a less desirable prison, which he should have never been in the prison the first time they put him in, which is like, I think it was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
They come out and they charged him as being a terrorist. Well, they didn't charge him at that time. They charged him for backburning on the ranch, which all the ranchers do that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the second time, when the judge said this is harsh and unusual punishment, he gave the older Bundy, 74 years old, I mean, not Bundy, excuse me, the Hammond. He gave him 3 months. He gave the son a year. They served that time.
Wow.
In which they say they paid for the crime. I don't think they committed a crime, but that's my opinion. They come back 12 years later and charged them with as terrorists in the United States ranchers. Been here for 40 years. And they charged him as being a terrorist and took it back into the Ninth Circuit Court and got the judge there to say, no, they got to do their full 5 years.
Wow.
So that means the man at 74 now has got to go back and do 4 years and 9 months, I guess it would be. 9 months. And the other one has got to go back in and do 4 years more because it was a 5-year minimum. But the first federal judge that sentenced him didn't think that was appropriate. So the BLM went back in, and they're just literally destroying these people's lives. Now I'm going to tell you why they're doing it. They charged them $400,000 fines.
Wow.
They paid $200,000 of it. If they didn't have these fines paid before they went to jail, the other $200,000 of that fine, then the BLM had the first right to buy the land. Now, what does that sound like to you? It sounds to me like they're hoping they couldn't pay it. I don't know who paid it, but somebody stepped up and paid the $200,000 fine before they had to go to jail this morning.
Wow.
But now that leaves the women to run this ranch without any men, no father, no son to run it. Now the BLM is hoping they can't make it, and they also put restrictions on them. If you spend over $500 for anything, you got to get it approved by the BLM.
My
now,
God.
That's so if they get ready to buy a piece of equipment they had to have, it's over $500. The BLM says no, you can't spend that money.
This is like
this is a sad day in America, Luca.
This is like a time. This is like the time. Excuse me if I interrupt you. This is brutal. What you're just telling me disturbs me to the bones. I mean, it's like the time during the kings and lords. I mean, seriously, this is like the time of the kings and lords. Okay, not even King George used to do this crap on us. Now, I want to give the time frame. Right now, this show is being recorded. This segment is being recorded. This is January the 4th, okay, 2016, and it's Monday, and it's exactly 9 o'clock p.m. Arizona time. Today was an intense day. Okay, you told me that the brothers, excuse me, the father and son, did they go to prison right now? Right? I mean, they got picked up.
Yes, they turned themselves in this morning, and the reason they said that they would not stand up for their rights, and you know what, I hate that they didn't, but I can understand it. But for people to say they didn't want to help, they said they knew the townspeople would not back them. And you know what? And in Burns arguing, they were 100% right. We came up here last, I think it was Friday, and we had a march out of the. I don't know how many people they got in this town. Maybe 6,000. I've heard 4,000. So I really don't know. But either one, we only had about 40 people from Burns that went on the march with us. Yet we had almost 400 people.
Wow!
We marched from a Safeway grocery store up the road to the Hammonds' house, past the sheriff's department. But this sheriff is everything but constitutional.
Yeah.
I came up here a month ago, Luca, and talked to him. And he sounded like he's going to be a great sheriff. You know, stop this and let's get a hearing on what really happened. Because when the Bundy said they started, I keep saying Bundy, excuse me. When the Hammonds admitted in court they started the fire, it's a backburn. It got out of control. It burned 130 acres of BLM land. Big deal. You're talking about hundreds and hundreds of thousands of acres. But the jury was not allowed to hear why they started the backfire. They would not let that come into court. So the jury says, well, they're being charged with starting a fire, and they admitted they started a fire, so they found them guilty.
Wow.
I mean, our court system is so corrupt, it's not even funny.
Yeah, I mean...
Now I'm going to get back...
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Luca.
No, well, go ahead, please, finish.
I'm going to get back to the march. We had almost 400 people, but just like Bundy Ranch, the people around there wouldn't stand for Mr. Bundy. What happened? People like you, Luca, me, and all over the United States that came to their defense. Well, we came to their defense last Friday, I believe it was, and we had our march. We went up to the Hammonds' house, and everybody wanted to go up and hug him and his wife, and they came out on the porch and they hugged everybody, and they were actually crying because they knew they were being screwed. If that word that to me is very appropriate for what they were getting. So they all hugged them. Then we marched through the town and went back to the Safeway store. But we had almost 400 people coming from all over to back him. Now the town is starting to turn. They're starting to say, you know what they're doing to the Bundys is not right. I mean the Hammonds. But Mrs. Hammond told us that 40 years that she knew all these people, and when they started having their fight with the BLM, that all the people in this town would cross the street so they didn't have to look at her and talk to her. So naturally they felt like the town was against them.
Yeah.
So it's just a sad day, and every small town in America is the same way. Until they knock on your door, they're not going to do anything.
Exactly.
So
I have a couple of questions for you, Ken. First of all, did you have a chance to talk to any of the Hammonds in person?
No, I didn't. But I was right there taking pictures when people were, talking to them. I honestly, I didn't.
Okay.
Because when I came up here a month ago, I didn't want to, to go in on them. And I wish now I had it, but I didn't want to disturb them.
So,
but I should have it.
I understand. Now, did you have a chance to talk to Ammon Bundy? I know that he's there. I was trying to get him today. I'll probably talk to him tomorrow. Did you talk to Hammond to Ammon Bundy?
Yes, I did.
How's it doing?
As you know, I'm very close to Ammon Bundy.
Yes. Remember we met him there at the beginning. Now, my only question is this: you told me that, and I understand most of the community, it really doesn't know what to get involved. They are almost afraid, or maybe they're just apathetic. I don't know. You think this community is afraid to speak up, or maybe they're working for the government? What is exactly? I know there are probably many jobs out there that are given by the government. I don't know the situation. Never been there. What do you think?
Okay, now we had town meetings, and people spoke, and people from the city came out. Yes, this city is probably 60% employed by the federal government.
Wow!
So that they know if they speak out, that they'll be ostracized and and lose their job or whatever. Now on top of all that, businesses even came, some of the owners, and they said if they speak out, that their customers won't come in they're afraid to lose their customers.
Wow.
You know, I always say, there is do what's right, and you'll always be right. No matter what if people if they don't come into my little store and spend their dollar, then that's the way it is. I just assume they didn't come in if they can't stick up for another human being.
No, I understand. It's terrible. It's like the mafia. Worse than the mafia. I think the mafia, they got more ethic. Now, I have a couple questions for you. I mean, this is getting kind of a new level. I think it's different from the Bundy standoff, in my opinion. I mean, I see the Bundy standoff. First of all, the Bundys, they wanted to stand together. They asked for help, okay? Here, the Hammond, if I understand, for what you told me, even they know that they've been screwed. Unfortunately, they don't want to fight it anymore, and they try to cut this deal to find this sort of a compromise, I guess, going to this federal prison. Hopefully, they're going to get a special room that's not going to get raped every day, like normally you can do if you go to a federal prison without any type of, without being a real criminal. So they're afraid. They chose to go to jail, to prison, and they didn't want the help. Now, still, I see Hammond, and many of you guys, you're still there. Now, at this point, since the local population, for what I understand, they are pretty much part of the machine. You know, they work for the government. They don't want to get involved. They're afraid. They're cowards, whatever you want to call them. They are slaves. Why you think, in your opinion, is still good to be there? And at this point, especially for what I heard, I didn't talk yet to Ammon, but what I read on the news, this taking over, or at least this occupying peacefully so far, because peacefully, but still, occupying this federal office in this wildlife retreat or whatever it is considered like they call it an act of terrorism. So I think the federal agents, now they're storming there. Did you see any federal FBI agents or any type of federal agents there?
No, not yet. Not yet, we haven't.
But what is...
Why people say, why do you stand up for somebody who won't stand up for themselves? Okay, I'm gonna give my opinion of this. If you've seen a woman that's been raped so many times in the park and a guy was raping her and she couldn't do anything for herself, would you still stand up for her?
Mm-hmm. I would.
If you didn't, you'd be a coward.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 72 years old, and no matter what I had, if I had to just throw my weight on the guy, you've got to take up. You still got to stick up for people if they've been oppressed and beat down. That's me. But most Americans are not that way. Well, I ain't one that's getting raped, so I'm gonna walk on by like I didn't see it.
Okay, I understand.
It's very sad.
I understand. This is for me. The only point is this. What you're saying makes all sense. I'm with you. I came all the way to the Bundys. Now, for different reasons, I couldn't make it on this one. Even just as the media, I would like to be there and see with my own eyes and report. This is very important. Because what I'm concerned now, the mainstream media, it's part of the machine, the propaganda machine. They will try to paint you, to make you look like a very dangerous people. And then when the public opinion, like during Waco, Texas, public opinion, finally everybody was convinced that the Davidian, they were bad people. And then at that point, the federal government will unleash all complete violence. Because the point is, right now, you are with the other guys, with all the patriots, you are there in a place pretty much well confined. Where exactly are you, first of all? Where is all this group staying? I mean, still at this wildlife retreat, supposedly federal land? Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. Yes, Luca, I've been out front, of the compound, and that's all I can say to that. I've been out front of the compound with all the news. One great thing about this, we've had news from all over the world covering this. Now, whether you agree or you don't agree with the way that Ammon and them took the place over, that's irrelevant. I think that's our land, and I think it's our buildings as far as I'm concerned. And we need to get back to the Constitution, and I think that's what they're trying to bring out. We need to get back to the Constitution because it says the federal government cannot own this land except for certain things. And I know you know the Constitution.
Yeah, I mean,
I know.
But let's read. No, I don't know very well. I just know as well, probably as everybody can read. We don't need to be professors or lawyers. Even an immigrant like myself. The Constitution states that the federal government can occupy a part of the states just for specific purposes, like, for example, for armories, for forts, for harbors specifically dedicated for that. But cannot just take over all millions of acres just because they say so. That's completely wrong. We know that we've been occupied and we've been sold out a long time ago. My only point, though, right now, out of the blue, when we have majority of the people that they don't understand that, they think from outside that a bunch of crazy people with weapons, because that's the way they're going to make it look anyway. The people that think, just because you have a Second Amendment, you carry a weapon for self-defense, you automatically now you become a bad person. You are a terrorist, a domestic terrorist. Now, this is a setup. I believe that I don't know what's going to happen. I just hope more news going to talk about it and make understand that I know at least many of you are law-abiding people, you are family people, you are not terrorists, you're just people who wants to at least point out that there is been a crime there against these people. It's an abuse of power, and that's a peaceful way to protest. But still, now you are in a location. I'm not there. Can you describe it to me? What is this exactly? This building, this wildlife refuge? What is like a chalet? What is this? Like a sort of a cabin? What is this?
Oh no, this is an elaborate place. I mean, they got all kinds of buildings on it, and they got a gym in it. From what I understand, they got a commercial kitchen. From what I understand,
wow.
And they spent a lot of taxpayer dollars. And remember, I just said taxpayer dollars on building it. They didn't use the corporation. The BLM is a corporation owned by a foreign entity.
Mm-hmm.
They are not even. They got no policing powers. But yet they can carry guns and point them at American citizens. What the hell is going on in this country, Luca?
I know that the BLM right now, it's a new Gestapo, in my opinion. They have no authority. By the way, they're in their charter is also in Puerto Rico, for what I understand. I mean, this is completely like a foreign agency, like the mobster when they have the hitman. Now by the way, they are working for the corporation. For what I understand, like during the Bundys, we found out that the part of Nevada where the Bundy's family have their ranch and they have their grazing rights was sold out already through the Reed's family, the son of Irie Reed, working for the Chinacom Corporation for this big solar farm. And we found out immediately then. Now, for what I understand, this big part of Oregon where the family of the Hammond, they have the grazing rights, is pretty much part of huge quantities. I mean, they have a lot of minerals and uranium. So that seems like there is another big profit for corporations. That's why they want to send out this family away, for what I understand. So there is so much people we should understand before we judge, before we say anything. But now I'm really concerned that especially all the stars that line up in a special moment. Obama, today what he's been trying to do is trying to pass executive orders to completely destroy the Second Amendment without even Congress. Don't you think that maybe they're going to try to use this situation the next few days for people like, that you're there, just because you're there, exercise your First Amendment, and just because people have the right to carry weapons, as with our Second Amendment, they're going to try to make us look like, we need to suppress guns. Could you believe maybe it could be some sort of a false flag? Do you see any type of infiltrators be there?
No, this is no false flag.
Mm-hmm.
This is real, because a lot of the people have decided we got to take a stand.
Mm-hmm.
If I got to die for my great grandkids and my grandkids, it's a time that we stand up and do something, because you can't keep burying your head in the sand and think that it ain't gonna affect me. Yes, it's already affecting you. Everybody that hears this voice tonight, it is affecting you.
Oh, I understand.
Believe me, it's going to affect you. It's
everybody.
Going to affect you and your kids a lot worse.
And I say something. Today is happening to the ranchers. Tomorrow will happen maybe if you own some chickens, or if you own a well, if you have just a regular house, property, if you have a pond. I mean, this is happening to everybody right now. It's only a question of time. I mean, there are people that are being fined $30,000 a day or $3,000 a day, depending on what type of fine they want to apply to, by the BLM, just because they have a little pond with some fish on their properties. I mean, we are back to the times of kings and lords, that these bureaucrats now can tell us how to destroy our life, how many times we need to bow down. This is serious. Now, what do you think? Did you see among the people anybody that maybe you do not recognize, or maybe you may believe could be some sort of agent provocateur or some sort of an infiltrator? What do you think? Any smell for that?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to get them every time. You're going to get the ones that come in. Excuse me, Luca. You're going to get the ones that come in and try to throw a firecracker or whatever, to get something kicked off. But these patriots are smarter than that. We know if somebody throws a firecracker, you don't just start shooting your gun. But they'd love to do that. Mm-hmm. Yes, they will probably try to use this for their agenda. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Who said that? The guy out of Chicago, I believe. I forget his name. Mm. Never let a good crisis go to waste.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the mayor of Chicago, I know what I'm talking about. The one that,
I forget his name.
Rahm Emanuel. Yes.
Yeah. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Well, the American people are letting. They better stand up behind this, and everybody, not just up here in Oregon, they better get behind it in every county, because they are going to come to your county, your town next, and it's a very bad situation.
Where are you sleeping right now? Are you sleeping in a hotel, or are you sleeping in this federal wildlife refuge? I mean, where are you sleeping right now?
I'm out front of the place. And actually, I've got a hotel room, so...
Okay, so in a hotel room. And another question I have. When, I think at this point, I don't know if Ammon Bundy was there opening the door. Who exactly started to... I mean, I cannot visualize this moment, this building. Anybody was working in the building? There were any type of federal workers when people decided to go inside and occupy it? Did you see that moment?
No. The building, our building, the American citizens, not citizens, American free people own the land. If they built their buildings with our tax dollars, I think that we, the people, still own the buildings also.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to understand how all that happened, exactly when happened, and there was anybody in this building, or the building was completely, somebody was working there?
No, the buildings were, they didn't go at gunpoint and take the buildings. No, the buildings were sitting on our land, and if you're homeless, you got a right to go get in, as far as I'm concerned.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure it out, visualize exactly what happened. You got people there like Hammond, and these brothers, and all the other people coming from different parts of the states. At that point, what time was when they said, okay, let's go to occupy this building?
Right after our march, we had in the town, and then some people went out there, and then that's when they took over the building, because we don't want a gun battle. We want a negotiation for the Hammonds and for we the people of how there's ranchers coming out there right now talking, and the other ranchers are starting to stand up, talking about how the BLM has been shutting them down, taking them out of business. And what's really funny about this, Luca, 2 weeks after they sentenced Mr. Hammond to prison, they went out to these ranchers that wouldn't stand up for Mr. Hammond, and the BLM, and I think I sent you a video on it, actually went out there and circled their house, their barns, and their cattle, and set it on fire and burned it. I don't know, a couple 5,000 acres.
I watched that.
You watched that.
That was disgusting. That was criminal. They're sending to jail the Hammond because they did a fire where there were no crime, there was no victims, no crime, just to try to defend their property from other fires, normal thing. And then what they were doing, they were burning their animals. They were burning their homes. That was completely something that should be prosecuted immediately. But just because it's the government, everything is okay. Like, for example, very well, the BLM, they do this sort of a burning. They call it for, to try to control the fire or whatever. And they use a lot of chemicals for the accelerants that, by the way, they are very toxic. And you cannot even complain. All over Arizona, they're doing that. and everybody must shut up because it's the government. But if you do yourself as a regular slaves, you're going to be labeled a terrorist and you're going to spend 5 years in jail. That's where we are. So I'm saying, this is amazing.
Now, let me say something real quick here. On them ranchers, they wouldn't stand up for the Hammonds. If they were out there today and I knew about it, they were burning their land, I'd be out there backing them. But I'll tell you what, I'd be very vocal about it. Say, had you stood up for the Hammonds, maybe this wouldn't happen to you. If all you ranchers got together and said no more, then you would have everybody in America come to your defense. No more. You're burning our land. No more. But see, they hide it. They're very good at hiding it. It happened in this county, and 3 counties over, nobody even knows about it. So
I know.
They twist all the mainstream news. It's bought out. They lie for them. They twist it around. So. But the thing is, if you don't stick together, we can hang separately.
I agree. I agree. The only one thing I'm concerned, I'm telling you, this is happening in Oregon right now. It's cold, by the way. Tell me exactly what is the temperature. I see snow right now, right? I mean, it's kind of not exactly a friendly environment. How cold is there today?
It's probably pretty close to 0 here today, I would think.
Okay, so it
feels like when I walk outside. Now let me tell you. Now here's what the local police and the BLM and the FBI right here in Oregon, they shut the school down for a week. Now, all this is going on is 45 minutes from the refugees that they seized.
Wow.
They shut the school down, and they're using that for a command center.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
they're making all these people in this town, the kids can't go to school.
Yep.
If you got kids, you got to get babysitters if you're working,
Uh-huh.
whatever. But they feel like their agenda is more important than your kids' education. And they're out there. They got the roads blocked off all around this school. We went up there tonight to take pictures of it, and they got all the roads blocked off so you can't drive down it. You can walk down because we walked in front and filmed it.
Wait, that's part of the plan, Ken. That's part of the plan. They want to create so much discomfort in the locals that the people that they're already pretty much, let's say, against all this, they're going to get even worse the more vocals. I mean, they want to create discomfort, to create this psychological warfare, so all the community is going to hate you, is going to hate the Hammond, or anybody that's there to support them. That's part of the plan, to disrupt the peace. So everybody went,
Absolutely.
Then when they start to bomb you and they start to gas you or start to burn you like they did with the for example, in Waco, Texas, everybody's going to say, finally, it's about time. I mean, I was even in Italy, but I watched the videos after what happened in Waco, Texas with the Davidians. After so many weeks of negotiations, people, they were happy to see the final burning of that church. Okay, because they were so psychologically brainwashed that they wanted it. They build it up, and that's what I'm afraid.
You know what it is, Luca? The town people, as far as I'm concerned, they know that they should have stood and they should have done something. They're so embarrassed and ashamed of themselves that they'd soon see Mr. Hammond go to prison and let their life get back to normal. Because they're ashamed because they're not doing anything. And they better get on their knees and do some soul searching, because their kids and their grandkids are never going to have freedom in this country. If we keep going on the path we're on now, nobody's going to have freedom.
I understand. I'm just now from a strategic point. I mean, I'm not a general. I'm just a regular guy, but just using the brain, I see some differences here from what happened when we were together at the Bundys in Nevada. First of all, we are in the part, guys, you are in the middle of this part of America, very isolated, northwest. I've never been in Oregon, but I think it's way out there. It's not central, and it's cold. The weather is pretty much harsh. It's a working season. People have to work. And I see that this pocket of America seems like really they're a bunch of slaves, because what really concerns me to think that from just all over Oregon, they can put up maybe 1,000 people that peacefully want to come there and just say, I want to bring a support and a prayer for this family. Just bring in there with their video camera, just to show their bodies. I'm not even calling the militia. I'm just talking as a regular people from Oregon to come there peacefully and start to witness this tragedy. That's what really disturbed me. because I find almost ridiculous the fact that you, at 72, had to drive all the way from Michigan, completely few states away, to come there and support a family in Oregon. I mean, how many people living in Oregon? Probably a few 100,000, I don't know, but that's insane. Okay, that's what it disturbs me.
Well, what's really the shame is when the sheriff could have stopped all this. All he had to say is, "Okay, federal government, you're not coming here to take the Hammonds till we get a rehearing on this." Now let's get a rehearing and hear that the jury wasn't allowed to hear why they started the fire. All they were told they started the fire. That's what they're charged with. And you can't hear why they started the fire. What kind of a court system is that? That sounds like what I would call in Texas when I was a kid, we used to call them kangaroo courts.
Exactly.
And that's exactly how they got sentenced.
Like during the time of the king, it's a fraud. But also another point, double jeopardy. I mean, this is not Italy, or at least supposed not to be Europe. It's supposed to be America. We have a specific part of the Bill of Rights says that you cannot be tried for the same crime twice. Otherwise, this is ridiculous. Like at the time of the kings, when the king didn't like the first trial, say let's do a trial again. I mean, right there we got a big problem, and tomorrow can happen to any one of us. Even people do not support the idea of these people, their lifestyle, their cattle, or whatever they've done. It's called double jeopardy. Okay, that's right there. Should be saying something to everybody. Tomorrow we can be tried over and over. Still the government doesn't get the right verdict. That's scary. That belongs to tyranny, not to a republic or some sort of a free society. So I'm really disturbed about that. Now I'm also very disturbed because I tell you, as I said before, I don't see the same type of situation where we had at the Bundys. I see that Bundys, they were there begging for help and they were ready to stand up with us in front of us. These people, the locals, they're a bunch of cows, for what I understand. Many of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there are some good people. But the majority, as you said, 50% of the locals, they are working for the federal government. They are slaves. They're never going to open their mouth. Then you have the Hammonds. They're already in jail. They're already in federal prison. At this point, we have a small group. I mean, I tell you, as much I heard that you have about 150 people, it's still a very small group. I wish there were there at least 5,000 people, something like that.
Yes, sir. I wish they had 1 million people there. I wish they had 315 million, but Americans will not stand up till they knock on their door, Luca. And
I know. I understand.
That's something we gotta face.
And that's why, at least, I want to. My point to bring this on the show, even if I have a little humble radio show, I'm saying this, guys. I'm not telling you to get your rifle and join the militia. No, I'm just saying you do what you follow your heart. But would be nice. Many of us, plan vacations to Hawaii. I mean, I don't go to Hawaii. I don't go anywhere. I stay in Arizona. But I know the average family likes to go on vacation, okay, if they can afford it. This would be probably the best vacation you can do for love, for a family that now is going to have their life ruined. Why don't you plan your vacation right now to go to the Hammond, to Burns, in this little town in Oregon, and at that point, even just bring your video camera and record this part of history, of American history. Oh, you gotta be there, bring your body, bring your family, witness what these people, you, Karen, and other people like the Hammond, had decided to even just make this symbolic stand. I know the Hammond, I know at least very well, the Ammon Bundy is the most peaceful guy you can find. He has a family, he got 6 kids, he got a business. I mean, he wants to go back home to his wife. But unfortunately, now they will try to paint him like a terrorist. They will try to paint any one of you as a terrorist. I say this is the time the American people, in my opinion, they should jump in the car and spend maybe a weekend as vacation there, documenting themselves. Even if they have different opinions, go there, check it out, ask questions, and then bring your body, bring your support, bring maybe, I don't know, a meal. And more important, bring your video camera, because we need to document what's happening here. If we can get 5, 6, 10,000 people, I think we could change the tide. Because right now, what I'm really concerned, a small group of patriots there, pretty much already corral in this area. It's a pretty remote area, I guess, right? Where is this place? It's like out of town, you told me. You don't have any buildings.
Yeah, out of Burns, it's exactly 30 miles.
Okay.
Now look, I'm gonna get into something else with the American people. They say, okay, we know they can track your phone. We know they're looking at all your emails. They know you're looking at Facebook. They know you're looking at everything. And that doesn't seem to bother American people.
Mm-hmm.
But today, I seen a guy go into the Verizon store.
Yeah.
Now I hope you allow me. I'm gonna get to the target individual, which most people do not understand, and they better start understanding it. This guy went into the store, spent $600 at a Verizon store, and it happened that the lady in there believed in what was going on. She said something needs to be done. This guy spent his $600 buying some things, and just as he's walking out the door, she put her hand up. The FBI was calling her to ask her, "Did you sell this guy a new phone?"
Oh my gosh!
And she told him no. Now, how do you think they tracked this guy? They're not tracking you with your cell phones. A lot of people, they're doing this with my car. They're doing this with my cell phone. No, they're doing this with the frequencies off your body. And you better understand it, because everybody in the United States is being tracked, and they're all target individuals. They just don't understand it.
I understand.
They better start understanding it.
They have technology that we have no idea. That's a fact. That's a fact that we've been never. I mean, we're never allowed to know. That's a fact. But even if we want to go to the low-tech stuff, we know very well that there are already. We have complete giving away our Bill of Rights. You know, with the Patriot Act and National Defense Authorization Act, NSA now is spying all over the world, and of course all over Americans. But you know, that's.
And Luca, and I tell these guys out here that now before at Bundy Ranch, some of them questioned what I was saying. That there's patents out, Luca, where they can put you can be in a crowd of 10,000 people, and they can pick only you, Luca Zanna, and talk to you in your head, and nobody else will hear it. Now, what happens when you go in and tell your loved one, your wife, or your mother, your brother, your sister? I'm hearing voices. They want to run you down to a psychiatrist, and this is the way it was designed, so they can get you in there, and they start shooting you up with their drugs, and then they experiment on you more and more and more.
Oh, they think
so
you're
people
crazy.
better understand it.
Yeah, no, I understand. This is true, and that's the way they're going to start to marginalize us. First, they want to make you look crazy, and then, of course, they will drive you crazy for real, because all they have to do is put you in a mental asylum, and you're going to become crazy. That's the fact. If you get medical drugs like Zoloft, all the stuff, you will become crazy. Plus, their technology, they will control you. This is something, unfortunately, it's happening. Now, listen to me. Tomorrow is a big day, I'm sure. Every day now, every hour is a big day. What do you expect for tomorrow, Tuesday, January the 5th? What do you think is going to happen?
You know, the way they're arming up over at the school, tonight we went by and there's all kinds of cars and all kinds of people there. So I really don't know, but I'm getting ready to ride back out there and then I'll get information from the people on the ground there, and I'll take them there. But I will try to keep you updated on this, because this is a very historic time in our history.
I know.
Right now, most Americans don't believe it. Ain't a bunch of crazies out there with guns. That has nothing to do with it. They're trying to preserve for the future families, and like I heard a couple of them say, you know what? If we got to die today to make our kids free, then let it be me. And you know what, Luca? That's the way I feel.
I know, and I just hope.
If I got to get shot today and die, trying to say I got 4 great grandsons, 5 grandkids. If I got to die today to protect them, let it be me.
I hope nobody's gonna die, really, because this point, I tell you, I hope more people, as I said, our key to expose this evil, we need to get more people, all with the media, the real independent media, and of course, if people can just go there, drive, and see, ask questions, as an act of love, to support, at least to see what's going on, and then you make up your mind. I'm not even asking to believe anybody, but as Americans, I mean, you don't need to take side right now, but at least document yourself. Drive to Oregon. Can you give exactly the name of the town, and if you can somehow, I don't want to say the directions, but the exact location where all this is happening right now?
You know, the mine is, just a minute. Burns, Oregon is the town. If you go out of town, and there's signs, and I don't really know I don't know what signs. I use my GPS. I just put it on text and there, but it says 30 miles. You go out there 30 miles out, and you see it. If anybody comes back here and wants to show up, it's very easy to find. All you got to do is follow the huge satellite trucks that's going out there. They're going out to, at least this time, we've got a lot of coverage of the media, all the way from Germany, Switzerland, all over. There's Fox News, CNN, all of it. So even though we know they're going to lie, it lets the American people know, why are all these people doing this? These are not just crazy people that want attention. They want their country back, and they don't want to. They're saying now we want to overthrow the government. No, we don't want to overthrow the government. We want our government to act like our government for we the people. Nothing to do with overthrowing them, taking their powers away. Yes, we do want to pull the purse strings in and make them start acting legal, which our government is nowhere close to legal right now. When we can kill people in the World Trade Centers and all the school shootings, and people don't have enough sense put together, this is all done for a reason, for gun control. And then after the gun control, you become the slave.
Yes, I agree with you. Listen, I pray for you, for everybody, even this time, because of life and personal things. But I try to do my best through this station and also through the internet. I'm trying this recording. I'm not going even to wait for Sunday for radio show. I'm going to upload it on YouTube, and I want everybody to listen, share it. Think what you want to do. But if you have to do something, I said, please, if you can, if you have a budget to go to a vacation, or even if you don't, make it. Go to this little town, go to see what's going on, bring family. This is about being more of us, we're going to be involved, and more we can diffuse this situation, and more we can bring real media, and more we can hopefully avoid that anything bad happens, and more important that they can do this to somebody else in the near future. So this is my message I have right now. Please, people, get involved, okay? That's the best thing we can do right now. I know many people that don't give a damn, and that's fine. But if somebody really has a little bit of curiosity, this is the time to do something. We're never going to have another chance like this. Ken, my prayers are for you. Please keep me updated if there is anything going on tomorrow, okay?
Can I say one last thing?
Of course, go ahead.
If American people got the money to go to Hawaii, you better come out here instead of going to Hawaii, because within 2 or 3 years, you're not going to have the money to go to Hawaii, and you're not even going to be allowed to. They're going to control your movement.
Exactly.
So either you wake up now and understand it. And I hope everybody on your listening that listens to this, I hope they all give us their prayers.
Exactly. And today is exactly, this recording is being made right now, January the 4th, 2016, 9:45 Arizona time. And I pray that next weekend, when I'm going to be on the air on K-Talks 1340 AM, we're going to have some good news. I really pray for that, but we will see that. Ken, good night, my friend, okay? Stay safe.
Good night to you, Luca. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And that was Ken Rhoades, originally from Michigan. I met him at the Bundys, as I said, when we had the standoff down there in Mesquite, Nevada. 72 years old man, and now he's all the way by himself in this middle of nowhere, this little town in Oregon, Burns, or whatever it's called, freezing to death. And I'm concerned, I'm telling you, I'm really concerned. I see this is like a different situation.
Wake up, America, before it's too late. They're trying to make you fade away. They're trying to kill your faith. Every day you're invaded, your soil desecrated. Politicians turn their back. You're under attack. You're under attack. They're trying to erase your borders. The UN wants to give you orders. They're trying to sell your pride. It's time to wake up. Now it's time to fight. Wake up, America, before it's too late. They're trying to make you fade away. They're trying to kill your faith. The truth selling your future, but there is still hope for you, America. Now is the time to wake up and fight. Now is the time, or you will die.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Luca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Luca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.